So I'm in Madrid at the EHA 2017. Tomorrow morning we will have an educational session on the future treatment of AML, and I will have to discuss, the title is Beyond 3+7. So 3+7 is this classical combination of anthracycline and cytarabine, which is still the mainstay of the treatment of AML in the front line for the fit patients. So what can we expect beyond 3+7? We are lucky because in this period we have an unprecedentedly high number of new drugs that are in preclinical or clinical development. And so this open new avenues for the treatment of AML. In the same session, Mark Levis will discuss the role of the new tyrosine kinase inhibitors for the treatment of FLT3 mutated AML. And my role is to discuss the new treatment for from the non-FLT3 mutated AMLs. There is a great variety of new agents with different mechanism of action, so it's difficult to summarize this in a few minutes, but roughly there are, I would say, 4 classes of these drugs. The targeted drugs, so that are targeting specific mutated genes, like FLT3, for example, and there are also the IDH1 and 2 mutations that are effectively targeted by specific inhibitors that are currently in clinical trial with interesting results as monotherapy in phase 1. The second category could be the drugs that are specific of a given pathway, and we have drugs that are able to target apoptosis, the cell cycle, or epigenetic regulation. The apoptotic targeting agents are interesting because they have shown already clinical efficacy, and they could provide a sort of apoptotic backbone on which we could build a new regimen with the addition of new drugs. Among them, venetoclax, which is a BCL2 inhibitor, has shown substantial complete response rate as a monotherapy. It was published 2 years ago by the MD Anderson group, and is currently tested in combination with hypomethylating agent and other partners. The MDM2 inhibitors are also interesting because they reactivate p53, which is in the center of the resistance to conventional chemotherapy. Idazanutlin is the most advanced of them, and has shown activity as a monotherapy and in combination in the phase 1 trial, which was reported last year at the EHA meeting. But this is at the expense of a substantial myelosuppression and GI toxicity. The drug is currently tested in refractory relapse patients in combination with cytarabine, and we will know if it confirms the promises of the phase 1. We can also target cell surface molecules using monoclonal antibodies, and what's interesting now is that thanks to the progresses in the biotechnology, we have been able to produce bispecific monoclonal antibodies like those developed in ALL. For these monoclonal antibodies, CD33 remains a very attractive target. Its clinical relevance has been demonstrated by the Mylotarg experience. One new antibody drug conjugate, which is SGN-33A, is currently in phase 3 and has shown impressive clinical efficacy in phase 1 as monotherapy or in combination with a hypomethylating agent. But this was also associated with substantial myelosuppression, which has to be taken into account for the future development of this product. And for the future, the CD123, which is expressed in the leukemic stem cell compartment of AML is a promising one. Talquotuzumab is a naked antibody which works through the induction of ADCC and is currently in clinical development in AML, used as a maintenance therapy. And there is a new bispecific, which is the MGD006, which is targeting CD123 and CD3, which is currently in phase 1, and clinical data will be presented in the coming months. And then we have the immune checkpoint inhibitors that are slowly developed in AML as compared to what has been seen in solid tumors. The first results were presented at ASH by the MD Anderson group of nivolumab in combination with hypomethylating agent, with I would say non-spectacular data in terms of clinical efficacy. But the merits of this study was to show that there were no unexpected adverse events in the AML population, so that's reassuring for the future. And a dozen of other studies are testing the different immune checkpoint inhibitors, either alone or in combination with other agents, the hypomethylating agent or other checkpoint inhibitors. And this is it. So the question is now how we will position this new drug in the therapeutic armamentarium of AML. The classical way is to add this new drug to the conventional 3+7 backbone. So this is done by several cooperative groups, which take the new molecules in the refractory relapse setting and bring them into the frontline treatment. The challenge here is to have the ability to select as soon as possible and also to test many drugs at the same time. So it requires some creativity in terms of study design. The combination with hypomethylating agent are also very popular. The hypomethylating agent have a good safety and tolerance profile, so the combination are probably easier to develop as compared to combination with 3+7. And for the future, we will have the novel combination. They have already started. In clinicaltrials.gov, there are a dozen of clinical trials that are registered and will start soon. Some have started with doublets or triplets of new molecules. So the challenges for the future will be on our ability to test a lot of agents in a small patient population, which is now more and more divided into subgroups based on molecular marker. The future will also depend on our ability to implement the mutation screening in the practice, to develop a new study design, and also to be able to manage the toxicity, because of course when we combine multiple agents, the drug-drug interactions are important, and we can reveal some side effects.